I write books about human prehistory around the world, and I see the human past as, generally speaking, mostly quite stable, without a lot of change. I mean, I'm talking here about, the prehistoric human past of small scale. I'm not talking about Greeks, Romans, and Industrial Revolution, but small scale tribal societies of the type that would have been living in Paleolithic and Neolithic circumstances. Their lives were very stable. And I think when they became unstable was when other groups moved in and impinged on them, and in some cases, of course, in the colonial era, pushed them off the land and caused all sorts of, disastrous events from the indigenous perspective. And I think that's what's been happening here. This tradition just went on and on and on we don't know exactly when it started, but it went right on until the arrival of the farming peoples who became the present day Polynesians, Filipinos, Thais, Khmer in Cambodia, Chinese, Koreans. When all of those groups from the north, with rice farming, millet farming, domesticated pigs, very large populations, because agriculture produces lots of people if it's done properly. It can support huge 8 billion people in the world today, mostly fed, entirely fed, I suppose, by agriculture. So when those great spreads occurred, mostly after 5,000 years ago, and in the case of the Pacific, of course, most of the migrations of farming peoples into Polynesia started about 3,000 years ago. But before that, yes, this hunter-gatherer tradition just continued. There was no reason to change it. In the case of Australia, it continued until Europeans arrived. And we all know, of course, what happened then. There was a disastrous change across the whole continent, same in Hawaii, same in the Americas. So, yeah, I think there is a kind of inertia in human behavior. People like to follow traditional ways of life. They just do. They like to speak their traditional languages, and they like to behave as their ancestors did. And they don't particularly like being told, no, you can't do that anymore. And also, we'll take your land and you can go and live somewhere else and join our culture or something like that. No, those things are not popular.
Yeah.
So I think that's what happened here.
People like doing what their ancestors did. And you can say that for up to the present with our culture. We want to continue what we've been doing. If you
Yes.
mess with that, we're
Yes.
going to be very upset.
Yeah. That is why I